Hi guys, it's me, Danielle, Danny Buttons, and I'm here today with a flip through and then color and chat with the book Mythomorphia. I'm going to show you all the pages I have done in this book. This book is pretty special to me because it is definitely one of the books that got me back into adult coloring. And this book is special because I only use watercolor in this book. So I'm going to first flip through all the pages I've finished, and then I'm going to show you my watercolor setup. There's a sneaky peeky, I guess. And then pick a page and we'll do it together. So I almost finished this book, at least in my world. I don't really worry about these pages, so I have not done these pages. But we're going to go through it together and see what I have done. There's a lot of these. So when I got this book and I saw the crazy amount of details, I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if I can do it. But that's when I decided to use watercolor, because when I watercolor, I just kind of zoop over all the details. There's very few backgrounds done because I'm not that good yet, but let's go through together. Also, I don't know if I'm going to remember any of the mythical creatures' names, but they're all in the back if you want to know more about them and have this book yourself. So, I think this is a Hydra, but I think everything with a lot of heads is a Hydra, so I don't know. But, yeah. I didn't do that guy yet. I did these two. I use the Kuretake 36 set, so that's my choices when I'm doing this. A lot of them, well, not a lot of them, but I haven't done any like fixative on any of them, so some of them are rubbing off on their neighbor page, but that doesn't bother me, especially once it's entirely done. This one was one of my favorites, and this one was my background for a while on Facebook, you know, the cover photo. I haven't done those. So all the pages I have left, I either don't love or love so much. And I always leave them for last. Also, I realized this is probably supposed to be the moon, but I thought it was Earth, so I feel a little silly. This guy's cool. I kind of did the background here because a lot of these waves were a lot, so I didn't know where anything was. But with these books, I kind of let the book itself tell me where to color. So when there's a lot of lines, I put extra color, and then I just push it out to where there's less lines. I've done that one. This is the first one that I did. And this is basically the first time I had ever used watercolors in a coloring book at all. So, and also, as you can see, this is incredibly crinkly, but that doesn't bother me, especially since for me, the whole book is going to be in the watercolors. So, these two. Some of them are shiny, but I don't know if they'll pick up. But I think there's 3 palettes in my book that are shiny. This was my terrible attempt at a galaxy background. So, there's that. This was intense. These guys took a while. I think they came out pretty good. I don't know if I need to talk about every page, or while we're looking, we gotta think of what we're gonna work on next. See, turtles are my favorite animal. So I basically bought the book for this page, and I still haven't done it because I'm afraid of it. I've seen so many amazing versions of this page on Instagram. Oof. I think that's the werewolf. I made him bleeding. I'm thinking this guy might be our page of the day. I don't like how her colors came out, but I was doing so many that are like woodsy and earth tones that I need somebody fun. I'm going to make the Sphinx fun, but I don't like it very much. Also, I don't like birds, and so many of these are half birds. Ugh. I thought this came out pretty good. Doing those wings took a while. Oh, I like that one a lot too. So yeah, as you can see, I got a ton done in this book. I'm kind of skipping through the pages I didn't do. My goal was to finish it, and I was doing so well, but then I bought like 20 other books and stopped doing it. So I don't really like either of these. Well, she's not bad, but I don't like the ground. But her colors didn't come out great either. But again, I just wanted to do something different. I love these guys. Hope it's not too noisy turning the pages. I also love this page, but I'm afraid of this one too. Maybe we'll work on that. We'll see. And apparently I started this one and didn't finish, so maybe we'll work on that. We'll see. But, and I think, oh no, this should be the last one. I was kind of making this Little Mermaid a little bit, and this was Flounder a little bit. That's the last page. I'm not coloring the answer key either. But that's where it tells you what everybody is. So that's kind of cool because on multiple occasions I've looked it up and then investigated what they were. So, and I also don't really worry about finding the stuff, whatever. But it's fun if you are into that. And it would be fun to like paint everything gold that you find. But yeah, can you see on her? All their bubbles are in shiny white. Like pearl, I guess. Okay, so let's pick a page. I'm gonna pick it and zoom you in. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do someone on the right side of the book. So we're gonna go with her. I don't really have a plan besides I wanna do all the berries in a blue. So I'm gonna show you what I use to do my painting and talk you through that, and then we're gonna get going. So these are my Kuretake. I think I can't tell you anything more specific than that because it is not in English, but this is their box. And in the inside of their box, it has, you had to make your little samples so you can kind of see what's in there. So, yeah. I would just look up Kuretake 36 watercolors on Amazon, and you can find at least the full name. So I like these. I got them as a gift, but I asked for them. But I like them because each one pops out and they're numbered, so you know where to put it back. But that way I don't have to have this whole thing in front of me. I can just literally hold this in my hand and go back and forth. When I watercolor, I use a water brush. This is just filled with water. And you go as you go. I also keep my beautiful paper towel because for these water brushes you really don't need water because you can just rub it off on here and then it just cleans itself. But I do also keep a tiny water next to me because if I use a darker color, it's just, I feel safer dabbing it out. And I think this is funny because this is actually one of those drink and paint companies that like you go to a class and they teach you how to paint. And I went to one for my birthday party and they gave this to me as like a gift. So I use this for my watercolors. So it's all like shiny and disgusting looking from watercolors, but I'm sure I could wash it thoroughly if I needed to. But yeah, I just think I love how this comes out. Looks so pretty. So, okay. Like I said, the only thing I know I want to do is paint her berries blue. So let's start with that. So to pick my blue, I might look at the back of the lid. Some of them are kind of hard to see anyway because they're really dark. So let's see. I'll take 67 and test it out on my little, I think a nice dark blue is good. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing entirely, but that's all right because in 1 second, I hope you'll see. Pop out 67 and we're gonna get to work. So just like in painting with the acrylics, I try to do the same method here, which is go from top left to bottom right, so I don't put my arm on my own work. And I also, this also dries quick, so you don't have to worry too much. For these berries in particular, I kind of let the big drop of paint try to end in the center, if that makes any sense. So when your like brush touches down, it leaves a bigger drop. And I leave that in the middle if I can. So I hope that makes sense. I think today I've been saying so a lot already. So I'll have to try not to. Yes, now my shower was finally this weekend that I've been talking about in every video nonstop. It is Wednesday right now. My shower was Sunday, and it was so good. I'm really impressed, and I was like building it up in my head one way, and that's not what happened, and it was much better than what I was expecting. But yeah, I have 4 bridesmaids, and 2 of them have never even been to a shower. So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. But I realized I was just projecting onto them because I've only been to like 2 showers in my life. So I don't know how it goes either. One was over 10 years ago, and the other one I planned. So I don't know if that went the way it should or not. But I was also let myself get hung up on like the RSVP rate. I was like, oh no, half the people didn't RSVP. But it's hard because I knew a lot of them were out of state and weren't coming. But I think that if you're out of state and you can't go to something, just say no. That's fine. People understand that you can't go. So it was frustrating because I was thinking to myself, are they going to surprise me and show up anyway? No, that's crazy. They live thousands of miles away. And if they're going to come to only one one party, I'd rather them come to the wedding anyway. So, okay, switching colors. I might just do the background. I have a few brown choices. Should I do? I'm going to do the darker brown. So this is actually the medium brown. I'm trying to get it out. Ugh. So for the brown, what I like to do is I start off where there's extra lines. As you can see, that's his style. And then I like pull up from there. So in theory, it's darkest where there's all these extra lines. Which, it's almost like the slightest grayscale coloring. Because those lines are there, but I don't know. And then also maybe I'll go back too and like put extra on the lines to make it darker. I'm not very good at watercoloring yet. Most of my practice has come in this book, so I just try and I pull things around. And the great thing about watercolor is it's so movable. I have Inktense pens and or pencils. Those are not movable. But this, you can go back later and be like, oh no, that's way too dark, and just add more water. Also, I just broke my own rule, and I started in the middle, so I'm gonna go back over here. But yeah, I was like, are these people secretly gonna show up? Why didn't they RSVP? So that's making me nervous about the wedding, because I'm doing the wedding invites starting this week, so I'm hoping people RSVP. But no, everyone that came, it was great. I think there were 16 of us, which was really nice because I don't know that many ladies in general. So, and we played a lot of games, and they decorated so nicely. It ended up, I don't know if I told you what I found out, but it was Disney themed. And I was a little bit worried when I heard it was Disney themed because I love Disney World so much. But a lot of the adults I know do not love Disney World so much. And they think it's childish sometimes. So I was kind of worried that I would walk in and everything would be like princess plates and like character balloons or something like that. But it was so subtle and so nice. And again, they did so good. The theming was they had like the centerpieces each represented different Disney love stories. But it was there was like a tiny pumpkin on a blue jar for Cinderella. And then there was some sunflowers for Tangled. And there were seashells for Little Mermaid. So it wasn't too overt. And then they had little signs around all the food so it was like from Alice in Wonderland. Eat Me was in front of the cookies, And they had the gray stuff. They had cupcakes with gray icing because my wedding colors are purple and gray. And it was so well done. Oh my goodness. I'm almost worried that I didn't take enough in. And that's, again, my worry for the wedding itself, because I was just so caught up in the excitement that I didn't like sit back and enjoy all the hard work they did. And then Samuel came and helped me open presents, which I appreciated. I don't like opening presents in front of people because I definitely appreciate the gifts, but sometimes my face looks like I don't. And it's just because I'm nervous, not because I don't like the stuff. So Sam is very good at smiling and saying thank you and being enthusiastic. So he helped me out. It went so quick, too, the shower. I was like, what? It's over already? I'll have to show you, but my cousins ended up, as my gift, getting us bobbleheads made. So it's a tiny little Sam and Danielle, and they're pretty funny. And it's mostly funny, or the thing that struck us the most was the little Danielle bobblehead is so much shorter than the little Sam bobblehead. I was like, what? And yes, I'm shorter than him, but geez. I hope you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, as you can tell, doing this is so much quicker than if I was using pencils. I'm flying through it. And again, my first goal is just to get every space covered, and then I can go back if I want or need to and put more layers or wet my brush and take some off. So, but yeah, you just squeeze your brush if you need some more paint or water to come out, and you go. This is very pigmented, so I'm starting off at my darker spaces, and then I'll just come back and blend it all out. But yeah, so now I mentioned I am doing invitations are my next big wedding step, and I've been working on them. I started yesterday. There's so many steps to physically putting the invitation away. It's funny. We're having people, you can either RSVP in the mail traditionally or online, and personally I'd prefer them to do online, but my dad's like, you have to give them the option. So I'm like, ugh, fine, I'll give them the option. So if they want to RSVP in the mail, here are the steps for me to do their card. Inside of the envelope will be a second envelope that I have to put a stamp on and my address on. Then I have the actual RSVP card that I have to write their names in. Then I have the card for the directions to get to the hotel and the paper on how to reserve a room if you so choose. And I have the actual invitation itself. And then on the front of the card, I have another stamp. I have my return address and their address. So it's like a 17 sheets of paper going on to make one envelope. And I am not complaining because I secretly love doing it, but it's just funny and crazy. And if you are planning a wedding, do not forget the cost of stamps in your budgets, because at this point, I need a lot of stamps because I just also did all my thank you cards for the shower yesterday. So far I've had save the date, I've had stamps, the shower invitations, I assume my girls had stamps, the shower thank yous have had stamps, the cards to send them back have stamps, the invitations themselves have stamps, and I'm going to eventually have more thank you cards to have stamps. So it's going to be nearly $100 to $200 in stamps, which that's pretty significant. And I know these days a lot of people will just do online. So good on you if you can do that. But if you don't forget to budget for stamps. So, yeah, wedding stuff is really starting to move now. I gotta keep on top of it. The less water you use in watercolors, the darker it's gonna come out. So be careful of that too. But yeah, I think you can see by now what I'm doing here. And by that I mean that I just plop it down and push it around. Whoa, that was real dark. I don't have any plans for the rest of the colors, so I don't know what I'm going to do in a second. Also, I didn't even look at what she is. Should I do that? Let's see if I can find her. She is a Dryad. Okay. I was going to look it up, but you're on my phone, so let me take my iPad and look it up there. Maybe they'll give me some instructions on how to color it. New tab. I thought so. It's a nymph in a tree. Oh my. I'll let you see as I'm seeing. Seems like I should have gone with green instead. There's a lot of green going on. A lot of raunchy pictures too. Sheesh. Green. Okay, we'll just do more green. I've already started with my brown though, so I'm gonna finish this first. I'm worried that I'm getting sick because my throat hurt yesterday and I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, and being sick at the dentist sucks. You don't want to be like coughing in their face. So hopefully I'm not. I'm probably not going to talk the rest of the day when I'm done with this video to try to preserve my throat. I was thinking of not filming at all, but like I've mentioned, I only film when I'm home alone. So I have to jump at it when I get the chance. Is that her arm? Seemingly. Should I try to make her body green, or is that going to look silly? We're going to find out together when we get to it. Yeah, even the details on here are easier, in my opinion, with the water colors, because you kind of just throw them in there. I feel like you have to, with pencils, have to worry about them being sharp enough, and you have to, sometimes they're never sharp enough. I have pencils that are too thick to get in these tiny details. I know all of you lovely ladies that love blending. That's so much work. I hear like a truck outside. It's annoying me. It might be a lawnmower. But it's a constant whir noise. So hopefully you don't hear it too. Already the garbage man for the day went by, so hopefully no outbursts from my lady. But there's a dog that lives down the block that she either loves or hates, we can't tell. So when he walks by, she's gonna scream at him. And I'll likely have to stop the video because she screams. Also, I don't know if you can see close enough, but I'm not really staying in the lines that well. I try to, but if it doesn't work out, I just kind of go with the flow. I'm going to try to avoid her body. I feel like if I do her green, then all the leaves might look silly. I think that's an arm, or is that an arm? Where's her arms? Help me. That's what's confusing about his books. Maybe I'll do like an olive green. I'm going to take the green out now and see what we got. Yeah, so I'll keep this over here. I dunk a tiny bit and just bloop, 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 bloop. Sometimes I dunk also instead of squeezing. For a real no reason. I don't think this is going to make sense. I'm just going to do her whole self in green. And then at the edges, I'm going to kind of rub together in hopes that it'll take some brown. Whoa, whoa, too dark. Whoa. So her face is gone. Where should I put this instead? I'm just gonna keep rubbing it out. See, she's coming back. Probably going to do these leaves also in a different green, so I'm not too worried if I get a little bit on them. The hardest part for me with watercoloring is like when I dunk into color again, like how to not make it obvious that I have, because I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. I'm getting distracted by this lady. So I'm gonna make it dark in here because one, there's lines, and two, it would just also be dark because it's in here. I was going to say we have to decide which is her arm, but I guess I did that by doing this. Sorry, I've gotten quiet too. We're at the serious part. So I think I'm going to fade into this green and do the ground in this same green. And then this arm would also be green. How's it looking? Not terrible? We're already like 30 minutes in. That's pretty crazy. See how dark it is when it comes out? Yeah, so maybe my goal will still be to one day finish this book. I've always wanted to finish a coloring book, like my whole life. That's always been my goal, and I've never done it. I'm so jealous of the ladies that like go out, buy one book, and finish the whole thing before buying another book. I don't understand your willpower. So. Yeah, this will be good. Okay. I'm going to do a little more brown. I kept my brown out too. And when I'm going from light to dark, I let it just mix. And when I'm going from dark to light is when I'll worry about wiping off my colors. And then also it, as you can see, mixes the colors a little bit, which sometimes can be nice, especially when I'm transitioning. So this way it almost looks like the tree is holding her in. Do you hear that noise? What is that? I don't know. I think like the block behind us has been getting construction done recently. So maybe it's that. It's just a truck being on forever. So that's going to be her. So I'm going to do a little more brown. Yeah, since this book is so wide, I had to clean more of my desk than last time. So that was nice. I kind of like being forced to clean my desk, because I don't think anyone enjoys a messy workspace. Maybe a little more tree to the sides. I don't know how you color and chatists do this. It's so hard to talk and work at the same time. And just for so long. Okay. Yes, I'm going to talk more about the shower then, since I've hyped it up all week. But one of the other super cool things that they did is my cousin has one of those Polaroids that prints as you go. And they set up like a photo booth. And they made this frame that said like happily ever after and the date and Danielle's shower on it. And so I went around. It was one of those trifold presentation boards. So it was nice and big. So I went around to each guest and held up the frame and took a picture with the Polaroid. So it printed out right away. And then they signed it and put it in this like scrapbook for me. And the scrapbook was the adventure book from Up, if you've seen that. So I guess my cousin found one online and did that. So like that was another very subtle Disney theme that was really well done. And I love that I have pictures with each guest, because that's a thing I always do at my parties, like birthday parties, is I make sure to take a picture with everyone who came, because one, I just like to see year to year who's coming. So I've had friends that have obviously come to everyone, and it's fun to like watch them age, I guess. It's fun to see like our styles as the year goes on. And two, I just like to remember those types of things. Like see who, some of the people don't come anymore, but they used to. So it's fun to see like what's changed and see why it's changed. Did they move? Did we just drift a little? I don't know. So yeah, it was really cool that was like my guest book, because now everyone that was at the party took a picture with me. I just realized now, I don't know if I took a picture with Gigi, with my cousin's stepdaughter. So that's unfortunate. I'll have to go look in my book and see if I did. But, and then also, like, I'm a scrapbooker too, so it was a good touch. Just a good touch overall. I hope, can you see down here? I think, like I said, I'm going to spread it out and have this all be her shade of green. Like the whole way. So even down here is going to be her green. I don't know if that's right, because she's just supposed to be stuck in the tree. But my nymph is stuck in the land, too. So, yeah. The sound stopped. Yay. It must have been a truck or something. See, I'm painting right over the brown and kind of as a way to mix them together. I haven't painted in this book in so long. I'm so happy to be back in here. That could be my question of the day. Have you ever finished a coloring book? And if so, which book? Or have you come close? Or if you've never finished one yet, what is your goal to finish? Like, there has to be one that you wish you could finish. So let me know down below what your book is. Because this is what I'm definitely closest to. But other than this, I want to finish one or all of my Disney Mystery Color books. I just love them and love Disney. So I have to start planning more of our honeymoon because we're going to Disney, which again, I just keep harping on, guys. We only have like 90 days until we're there, and then I guess I'll be talking about it for a while, but it'll be over. Yes, this is my first time staying on resort property, and with that, you get to make your Fast Pass reservations 60 days in advance. So I think October 2nd, we get to make our Fast Pass reservations. So I need to start serious planning on what we want to do each day. This is crazy because it's also the first time I tried to make like a reservation in any of the restaurants. And if you can make reservations for 180 days in advance. So I made reservations months ago and I can't believe it. Like a few of the days I already wanted were gone. I made reservations at the Be Our Guest restaurant, which is the Beauty and the Beast restaurant. And it looks like it's their castle. And I'm so excited because I haven't been to Disney in 5 years. And the last time I was there, Be Our Guest just opened. So there was no way we were getting in there because everyone had reservations. So, and we didn't even book 180 days in advance last time. So like I didn't have time to make reservations online. But we're going this time. But I was sad because I wanted to also try to book a second restaurant. I think it's called Sci-Fi Theater or something like that. Apparently it's in Hollywood Studios and you like sit in what looks like cars. So it's like cars at a drive-thru and they play B-list sci-fi movies. So it's as if you're in a drive-thru. And I've never been to a drive-thru and I've always wanted to go to a drive-thru. So it seemed like it'd be really cool. But it's been all booked. And I keep checking and hoping someone cancels. But so far, no good. And it's crazy because I didn't know about it at the 180-day mark. But I definitely looked at like 120 days. It was still all booked up. So we actually are getting a free dining package because they had a promotion that if you're going through certain times and stay on location, you can get free dining. And that just happened to be when we were going anyway. So we're staying at a value level resort though. One, because the price jump between value and moderate is pretty significant. And two, because the value resorts are the most themed. The higher the quality or pricing, I should say, of the resorts, the less themed they are and the more just like actual quality resorts they are. So we're staying at Pop Century, which is themed with different decades. And I'm really hoping we're in the 90s area because as I've mentioned too, I love the 90s. but it just looks cool. Like they supposedly have a swimming pool shaped like a bowling pin in the 50s area. And I love bowling. And then it's right next to the Art of Animation, which is where we were going to stay. But the Art of Animation doesn't do the free dining. And the Art of Animation has Little Mermaid rooms. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that is my dream. And the whole room is themed like Little Mermaid. So the shower curtain is Little Mermaid. And when you open the shower curtain, it's like her grotto where she had all of her stuff hidden. And it had like a seashell backboard on the bed. And there were like flounder and all the school of fish hanging on the wall, and it seems super awesome, but you couldn't get the free dining there, and I think the free dining is going to be really cool. So, but yeah, the free dining we get is the cheapest, I guess, of the 3 packages, but I think it's going to be what we want anyway. So their dining, they have quick service. I'm just going to color this all. Quick service, which is like a Chipotle level. So you just go in and order what you want and leave. And then they have like table seating, which is the next tier. And that is when you can actually sit down and there's waiters and things like that. Okay, hold on. Let's pick another color first. I'm gonna do all the leaves. Should I do a darker green? Probably. Or should I do like a teal? Let's look at the lid. I think that's green. Let's see, number 57. Are you green? Yeah, that could be pretty. Let me take a sip of water while I'm stopped too. Okay, so yes, quick service is what we've got. And I wanted to do quick service anyway because I don't think we're going to want to sit down at a restaurant and every day, twice a day, because I think that in my mind will use too much time up, but we'll see. But since we're getting the dining for free, if we choose to do 1 or 2 sit-down meals that we have to pay for, that's obviously going to be fine. But last time when we went 5 years ago, we didn't eat in the parks once. I think we did once the very last day because we were like so proud of ourselves for not eating in the parks at all that we splurged and ate in the parks. But other than that, every single meal we had out of the parks, we would like stop at Taco Bell on the way back to our hotel every night, which isn't the best for you, but it's significantly cheaper than in the parks. Or we would, Disney lets you bring in snacks, which blows my mind, but we would bring in snacks and like have granola bars for breakfast and then snack packs for lunch and then eat at the hotel for dinner. But what we're going now is obviously December, so the parks have shorter hours comparatively. So I also don't think we'll have time to be eating out of the parks, and I don't want to waste our time leaving the park to eat every day. So I'm very, very excited about this meal plan. We get 2 quick service meals a day each and 2 snacks. And supposedly the snacks can be used on things like even like muffins at Starbucks or stuff like that. So that's definitely breakfast. And then if you don't use anything or whatever you don't use at the end, you can use to buy packaged snacks. So I have a friend that loves Goofy gummies and he's obsessed with them, and that's what he wants as his souvenir. So at the end, if I have any snack credits left, I'm just going to buy him a bunch of Goofy gummies and bring them home with us. So I'm so excited. I just realized that this leaf is different from these leaves, so I don't know if I should color them different or just go with the same color. I might just go with the same color. So, but yes, all that to say, I need to start planning what we're doing day to day. that is my method with Disney, or again, was last time, is that I over-plan when we're at home and I have the time. And that way I can just enjoy as I go when we're there. Because to me, our biggest enemy in any vacation is indecision. And this happens a lot when we go places with family and they don't plan as much as I do. They'll be like, what do you want to do, guys? And they'll be like, I don't know. What do you want to do, guys? And I'll be like, oh, I don't have half an hour for us to just sit and not do anything. So I will plan our trip down to the minute. And then if we get there and change our mind and we're like, oh, I didn't know about that, let's do that instead. That's absolutely fine. But then when we're back, done with that random thing, and what are we going to do next? Oh, I have it written down. So back on track. So that worked so well for us last time that I think it will work well for us again. But I'm just so excited. I love Disney World so much. We went to Disneyland now I guess 2 years ago. And I did not like Disneyland as much as I love Disney World. I might have also, we made some bad decisions with Disneyland because we went to California. My friend, one of my best friends who I've known since 2nd grade, lives out there now. So we went to visit her. And our plan for the week, this was one of the craziest trips in recent history. We went to California for a week. And we went to Disneyland and then Disney California Adventure for 3 days. We went to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour. We went to one other thing. Oh no, I'm not going to remember now. We did one other thing. And then the end of the week, my dad actually came out and we went on a cruise with him from California. And then we went home and he had to stay out there for business anyway. So it was a whirlwind week. But we did Disneyland itself the day we landed in California. So it was a lot later than we would have liked to get there. And then I think everyone who travels, that first day, you kind of feel nauseous all day just from the airplane. So I wasn't feeling the greatest. And also I have a terrible habit of not eating very well on travel days. So I think I was nauseous from the plane, from not eating enough, or from eating just the crap they give you on the plane. And it wasn't the best idea. So we got into Disneyland and it was so crowded and it's so much smaller than World's that I was just I'm not impressed. And we skipped a lot of the rides that they have in World because I was I've been on them before. But apparently they're pretty different, and I didn't know. So, there's different Haunted Mansion scenes, and, Splash Mountain's different, or so I've heard. And we just gave up on all that. But we did go to California Adventure for 2 days, and we loved California Adventure. So that was nice. But still, nothing beats Disney World. All right, I'm going to do a lot of these guys down here, I think, in red, because I always do my mushrooms in red. I think it just reminds me of Mario. So, I'm just going to do some mushroom tops. Oh, it's kind of pink, but that's fine too. And then I'll do all the stalks in, I'm not sure what color. I wish I had a few more colors in this watercolor, but we gotta do what we gotta do with what we got. Yeah. So, let me know. Maybe you like Land more than World. Land wasn't bad. I definitely, wish I gave it more of a chance. But I don't know when we will be going back there. There's just so much to do in World. I'm also excited because we've never been to Disney Springs, which used to be called Downtown Disney, if you haven't been there in a while. I haven't been there in a while. But we've never been to Downtown Disney / Disney Springs. So I'm looking forward to that for a few reasons. One, it seems to be open till midnight every night, and the parks are not. So if we need some late night eating, there's that. Two, because a lot of the dining places there take our credits. And then just, I think it'll be a nice way to take a break from the parks themselves, but still be Disney-ing it up. We're also thinking of not bringing a car, or by bringing, I mean renting a car. And that, we're going back and forth on whether that's a good idea or not. But renting a car is obviously expensive, and then you have to pay for parking, and then you're physically in charge of driving. So with our meal plan too, there's actually alcohol included. Like you can get an alcoholic beverage at each meal. And I do not drink, but Sam does every once in a while. Like if it's free, he'll drink. And I do not drive. So Sam would have to drive, and then if he's drinking, he can't drive. So we don't really want to have to deal with that, because we're very, very cautious of not drinking and driving. Like if he drinks even one, we have to wait like 6+ hours, which I know not everyone is like that, but we very much are better safe than sorry people in general. So yeah, but I want him to be able to enjoy himself. And if free drinking is how he'll do that, then we don't want to rent a car. But that being said, we're going to be using like Disney transportation then. And I'm excited and nervous about that because I just don't know how that's going to go. We're going to have to wait for buses and stuff. I hope we don't get lost and end up at a different hotel or something. So I'm just coloring everybody in yellow down here. Getting a little bit of color. So we're at the home stretch of this picture though. That's pretty good. And see, even though like we're at about 50 minutes, including my flip through, maybe 55. It's in 2 different parts, so I can't tell you. This part is 45 minutes, but that's a long time. But this is a Kirby Rosanna's book. Like, sheesh, that's no time at all. I've seen people do 10 hours on one picture, which, as I've said time and again, I do not have that type of patience. I wish I did, but I do not. So, 45 minutes, perfect for me. Yeah. Yeah, what? I don't know. I just said yeah, and then I had no thought after that, so that's fun. I'm trying to think of other videos to film today, but I'm also worried about losing my voice. But again, I just want to have some stockpiled, but I don't have any ideas. And a few of my ideas, I need my desk to be clean for. So, I don't know if I'll do that today. Oh, those are kind of flowers. What do we do with that? I think it'll be weird if I just do another color. Maybe I'll just do a lighter pink. Are you also pink? Let's find out. Nope, that's red. All right. Can you see this? It's close to the bottom of the page. Okay, so we got this goblet that I assume is one of the mystery things in the back. I'm going to color that with some bronze. And this is the shiny stuff. But the problem with the shiny stuff is that sometimes it'll cover the line work too much. Now that I say that, this has done nothing. I think my brush is too wet, so it's not picking up the pigment very much. But yes, I don't think you'll be able to see that that's shiny, but I can see that that's shiny. And then finally, for my little fairy friends, I think I'm just going to color them shiny. But I almost want to do purple. I'm going to do the lightest purple and then cover it in shiny. So I've barely, nope, too light, okay. I very lightly dabbled in the purple. It's almost like it's kind of red. It's a red purple. And I will not dip again if I can avoid it to make them nice and light. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, this is kind of the color I wanted, this lighter one. Beautiful. And then I'm going to dab into my pearl and get my brush good and pearl. I love this too because the next thing I paint will also be pearl. It's shiny and pretty. I'm just going to cover these ladies up in the pearl. And it's going to dry a little bit darker. So I'm barely worrying about staying in the lines at all because if they have a shiny aura, that's fine. And again, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera as well as I can see it in person, but I'll wiggle it around so hopefully you can tell. Ooh. Can you tell on camera? Because that was pretty good. She is pearlized. Okay. Can you tell? Yeah, you can see her. You can see them being pearl. Pretty good. So I think that's it. Guys, we just did a Kirby picture in 50 minutes. How do you like me now? Or how do you like my page now? Let me know what you think. If you like this, if you want to see more from this book, if you never want to see this again, let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.